Hey guys, all right, I am in my closet. It's a hot mess, but I'm in the closet. Augie's in the bathtub right there, so I don't want to go too far. And I thought I could just shoot this quick. Okay, so this is like 20 years of yoga practice, and my instructor Kelly always talks about this. She's like, okay, like let's say you're in a pose. Like I can picture the one pose. It's like this quad stretch pose, and you can like do this lunge with your knee on the floor. And then she'll be like, okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to bend your knee and turn around and grab your right foot with your left hand or something like that. And you can hear the room like, oh, okay. So she's like, okay, this is like the conversation that you don't want to have. You know, like you should have a conversation. It's definitely the conversation that you're avoiding and you don't want to have. Or, you know, like when somebody calls you and you see them on caller ID and you're like, decline, I don't want to talk to them. She's like, just pick up the phone and have the conversation and get it over with. Stop avoiding. Like this is yoga, right? You're not going to hurt yourself, but just stop avoiding. Okay, so now, this has just happened to me in the last few days. And I tell my friend Sean about this whole experience. And tonight she goes, Amber, this is your strength zone. You're so good at this. I go, this is not my strength zone. This is just 20 years of a yoga practice. Like just clear it, right? And pick up the phone and have the conversation. Okay, so let me share with you guys just briefly what happened, right? Many of you guys know these people. So we started this project with this group of people, right? And I always say if things, like this is intuition, right? When things are downstream, and they just flow and it's easy, go, right? If it's feeling upstream and you're like fighting it and it's resistant and you're just keeping coming up against roadblocks and there's like brick walls, it's upstream. It doesn't mean, you know, some people would be like, no, you need to fight for it. And I got it. Like, but it's certainly a question for me. Like if something is constantly upstream, have you guys ever felt that way? Something's constantly upstream. Like let's talk about the person you dated in high school that now some of you guys are married to your high school sweethearts and it's amazing, right? But nonetheless, if you're not, I'm not, okay? The person that you dated in high school and then they broke your heart and you just kept going back, this is me, right? You kept going back and back and back and back and back. Well, thank God I didn't marry him, right? I have an awesome husband. That was called upstream and it was resistance and I probably should have been like, you know, but anyway, it all worked out. But you guys get it. Like upstream isn't always an indicator that it's not supposed to happen, but it's a great indicator for me. It's a little bit how I function. I'm like, right now I'm like, oh gosh, if it's just too resistant in my life, I've got 6,000 other things going on. I have no more capacity in this brain. And if it causes too much resistance and it's too upstream for me, I'm just like, peace out. Okay, so I started this project. It's a big, massive project. It's with a great group of leaders and it's going downstream, and people are flying here and it's awesome. And we're all meeting for like 2-3 days and we're in lockdown and we're in creation mode. Then on day 2, there's like this interaction between 2 people and it's feeling kind of awkward, right? And it's not a man and a woman, okay? But you're just like, kind of weird. Was that kind of weird? That was kind of weird. Okay, that was kind of weird. So my friend Sean was with me and we leave that night and she's so funny. She's like, oh, okay. There is something weird about this. And I was like, I know. Isn't there something weird about this? Right? So that's another thing. When your intuition tells you like there's something weird, just trust it. You don't always have to identify what it is. You don't have to name it. You don't have to say, oh, it's good or bad or right or wrong. It's just a universal sign speaking to you, causing you to be aware. That's all. It's just like, oh, my awareness is now perked. That's all it is. It's not always to name or to judge or to make a decision. Okay. So then 2 or 3 more, we all flew home and, you know, life happens and you're back to work or whatever. Now, 2 or 3 more interactions happen with these 2 people that I'm not aware of, right? And I probably should be aware, right? It's kind of like, I'm kind of like the, you know, I don't know, like the project manager of the project, right? So one person messages me last night. He's like, I just want to let you know, it's conversation and I just hope it's not weird for you, right? And the other person messages me and they're like, I just, I just probably should let you know. And I'm like, these 2 parties are feeling like, maybe they should come clean to Amber about something, right? So the point is, I was feeling it all along, right? I was like, I didn't know what it was, and I didn't spend any time on it. Like some people get fixated on it too, right? You guys, it's not for us to get fixated. It's not our thing. It's not our energy. It's their energy. It's right. Maybe it's like, but it's for us to have heightened sense awareness about the potential moving forward of the project. I'm just looking at that. That's cute, huh? It goes upstairs. It's part of my closet that goes upstairs for dress clothes. I just haven't made it up there in 2 weeks. Okay, so the end result is I hopped on the phone. We have this big training event this weekend. I don't have time to hop on the phone, but I made it a point. I was not going to go through the weekend at this big training, you guys, and not like figure this out, right? So I hopped on the phone with one of them today and it was great conversation. Now it's not an easy conversation, right? And he's like, okay, He's like, how are you feeling? Because I want you to feel good, and I feel like you're not feeling good, right? And so we were just talking about the 3 or 4 things that are on my mind. And I said, hey, I can pull out of the project. It doesn't matter. It's no big deal to me, right? I've got other things going on in my life, right? It's not a big deal to me. Like if it's too upstream and it feels too awkward, I'm happy to just like pull out, right? And now I don't want to be the kid that packs up his kids from the play box and leaves, or whatever it's called. There's some phrase saying, right? Pack up your toys, sandbox, toys, leave the sandbox. You guys get what I'm saying, right? So I didn't want to be that person either, you guys. But we had that conversation. I was like, this is odd. People are telling me this is odd. You got to know it's odd. He's like, it's odd. I'm like, it's odd, right? So I'm happy to consider moving forward with the project if we can clear the energy. Paw Patrol saves the day, y'all. So cool, pal. So cool. Okay, I should probably go be a mom. All right, but I think you guys get the point. Like when it hurts in the yoga pose and you know you should turn around and you should grab your foot for the deeper quad stretch because it's actually good for your quad, stop whining. You know, there's always people in yoga and they're like, oh, right? I'm like, just stop it. Just like, it's so good for you. It's so good for your character. It's so good for like get stuff off your chest when you just pick up the phone. It's the same thing as grabbing your leg, quad stretch, pick up the phone, don't hit decline, have the conversation.